Don't you hate wrestling with predictability? The garbage man, the sexy boy, boring ass TV? How did I get to work in here? Somebody tell me, please. The WWF is confusing to me. With Vince as mean as you've ever seen. I told old Patterson I'm done here in June. When a sudden voice inside me whispered, Vinny, don't sell your dream so soon. And everywhere I look, there's a Ted with a hand to hold on to. And everywhere I look, there's a place and a promotion who needs you. And it's there you'll book when you're lost out there and you're all alone. And WCW's waiting to carry you home. It's there you'll book. And it's there I'll book. A doobity-ba-ba-ba, headed to Atlanta and listen to this podcast. It's all right, even though it fucking makes fun of everything I've ever done.
Backbone Wrestling Network. Welcome back to Are You Smarter Than Vince Russo's WCW? I'm Scott Shiflett. Joining me as always is Logan Crossland. Logan, how are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. We're here on a Thursday as we're recording. Happy that Friday is closely approaching and ready for the weekend as always. So happy to be here tonight with you. But looking forward to another weekend of relaxation and not working for a couple of days.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that. You know what I'm not looking forward to? Talking about this episode of Nitro, which was a real weird way to kick off, to build to your next pay-per-view. It was really ho-hum episode, and it seemed to undo a bunch of things that happened the night before. But we'll see where this stuff takes us, Logan. But yeah, we're here on episode 51, guys. Like, just insane. I know we hit 50, the Great American Bash, but 51 is just, been doing this for almost 2 years. It's just, thank you for all listening. But we're gonna jump in. It's June 12th. We're in Richmond, Virginia. Tim Capel did not tell me if he was there or not. I think he just ignored me when I asked him. For good reason. But we see show kicks off and we see highlights of the Great American Bash and Goldberg turning heel. We see cops pulling in and then a limo pulls up after it. Out comes Russo and Eric smoking cigars. Eric opens up the limo door and Goldberg gets out with them. We get the Nitro intro. Tony welcomes us in. Scott Hudson doesn't have a shirt on because Hudson made fun of Russo without his shirt on last week. This is punishment. I said so this would equal ratings of seeing Scott Hudson's fucking man boobs, which he somehow has more hair on his chest than on top of his fucking head.
Yeah, it all grew on his chest and stomach somehow. None of his head, though.
Tony is trying to hype up people to buy the Encore so we can see Sting turned into a barbecue. They're calling Goldberg the hired gun of the New Blood, not saying that he's in the New Blood, which I think is very interesting. The New Blood's music hits, and out comes Eric and Russo. Eric says he's the man talking about Russo. Eric says, I know how to deliver a surprise. He says, I told you it's a big one, but damn, it's a big one. Eric said it shouldn't be a surprise as Bill, Goldberg, and I have so much in common. Eric says when Goldberg was out, the Millionaires Club said they have their spots back. Eric says Goldberg is the future of the company. The Millionaires Club said Goldberg was shallow and not a team player. Eric says Goldberg is a team player. Eric said that Goldberg told him that Goldberg is sick of all your fans' crap, the autographs, and just dealing with you and having to hear from you. Eric said Goldberg came back to me because I was there for Goldberg before he was Goldberg. Eric Lynn welcomes Goldberg and he comes down. We actually get some chance at Goldberg, but it dies very quickly. Goldberg actually gets boozed, which is shocking to me. Goldberg said, "Don't ask me why. The question is why the hell not?" He says that everyone in the back tried to knife me in the back. He says the fans cheered everyone else, but him, when he was out, was like, bro, you weren't there to be cheered, so whatever. Goldberg says he signed a deal with the devil. They get what they want, and I get what I want. And that is he gets to stand over every son of a bitch who screwed him. Says he's got 2 words for them. Fear this. Wolfpack music hits, and Kevin Nash comes out. Nash says, Goldberg, that was about all the shit I could listen to. Poor, pitiful Bill. These people are tired of listening to your shit, too. Nash calls Goldberg a stupid son of a bitch and says, you don't know who made you. Says the company gave him everything on a silver platter. Nash says Sting, Scott Hall, Hogan, Flair, and Nash all made Goldberg, which I'm like, a couple of people did, not all of them. Nash said he had plans tonight, but he's got one thing to do tonight, and it's to leave here with Goldberg's blood on his hands. Also, I just want to note, like, they no longer have their rampway. They just have an aisle, which sucks because I kind of like their little ramp that they had.
Mm-hmm.
So that's officially
with
gone.
With the exploding vagina.
Yeah, with the exploding vagina. So anyway, back to the action. Nash starts walking towards the ring, and cops show up, and he starts fighting them off, but they overwhelm him. Nash gets arrested. He actually kicks some cops. Russo says, "Hold on." Says, "I don't want to pretend this. I don't want this piece of crap arrested." He wants him released. Russo says he wants ratings and says tonight will be Goldberg versus Nash tonight. You son of a bitch. Eric and Goldberg shake hands, and we go to a commercial break. We have 3 sons of bitches. It's like me talking in 8th grade or drunk in this opening segment, Logan. So what'd you think of it? Goldberg's kind of, flat excuse for turning heel, but we'll see where it goes, in my opinion.
Yeah, kind of a lame reason, just kind of maybe a way to get him some heat, like right off the bat. Like the fans are going to shit on that almost immediately because, yeah, like you said, they didn't cheer for him because he wasn't there to be cheered for. And the last time we saw him, you did fucking something stupid and sliced your arm open for something that didn't need to happen. So, like before he left, obviously that was kind of the injury that took him out. But yeah, Russo was kind of like Woody or Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story in this one, and they kept pulling his drawstring, and he said "sons of bitches" and all that kind of stuff. So he was very repeaty in this promo. So, but yeah, not a terrible segment, nothing mind blowing or earth shattering or anything like that, but obviously establishes the night's main event. And yeah, I did not have Scott Hudson being shirtless for the entire night on my bingo card. So I did share a picture of that the other day without context in the group chat. So didn't get many responses other than yourself, but I thought it was worth sharing. So, but yeah, the opening promo was, kind of just whatever. But it does set up the kind of the story throughout the show.
First off, if we have to see it, Logan, everyone has to see it.
Oh,
so
yeah,
there you
great,
go.
great.
Yeah, I did not like that at all. And he's wearing a tie with it's just
yeah. I think that makes it even stupider. But yeah,
yeah.
And this we didn't mention this, but this is this episode of Nitro is on YouTube, so it is accessible for anybody to watch.
Yeah, it's insane. But yeah, they're on YouTube. They're finally caught up. I appreciate if they're listeners. I like to think they're hypothetical listeners. So thank you guys. And that run WWE, the WCW channel on YouTube. Keep pumping them out. So we take a commercial break, and we see Jeff Jarrett walking backstage, and he asks the Cat if he has some pull around here. Cat says that he does. Jeff said Hogan earned his title shot, and he wants to have the match tonight. Cat asked if Jeff can play BB King on the guitar, and then Jeff will face Hogan. Jeff is really non-committal with that, but I guess it's going to happen. We then see the cops putting Nash in a car. Scott Steiner then runs after Russo, and the cops arrest Scott. Scott screaming, "Screw you, Russo." There's some random kid that was around Nash, and we're told that's Nash's nephew, Hunter. Then Tony says Russo will retire Ric Flair tonight. We see highlights of Eric beating Terry Funk with the help of the Mama Lukes for the hardcore title, and Mama Lukes being dual hardcore champions from last Monday. Mama Luke's music hits, and we see Vito talking to Johnny the Bull, who is taking a shit. He said he had some bad cheese sandwiches last night. So then Vito shuts the door, and for some reason, this door has a lock on the outside of it. So he locks him in the bathroom. And then as soon as he does that, Terry launches a trash can at Vito, and the match starts. So before we start talking about the match, Logan, Mama Luke's just being amazing. He's like, "Oh, that's bad cheese sandwiches last night." And then he locks the door. Like this bathroom has a fucking lock on the outside.
I love that he locks it, man. That's amazing. But yeah, usually cheese has the opposite effect on you. It usually plugs you up. So I don't know if that really works how he was thinking. Maybe that would sound. But yeah, I mean, obviously we kind of get the show long thing of Nash being in the back of the cop car. Russo showing some athleticism, hopping over the car and across the car and all that kind of stuff to avoid Steiner.
Listen,
obviously.
If Scott Steiner in 2000 was chasing after me, Logan, I'm fucking beating the 40-yard dash. Yeah, like.
Yeah, you got a point. You got a point. But I wanted to hype up his athleticism there because he definitely sprung into action as soon as Steiner showed up. We did get a commercial to start off this round.
Shit.
Yeah, we did get a commercial to start off this round of stuff, but it was a Slim Jim ad with Randy Savage, who we haven't seen in approximately 3 months, I believe. So, and we will never see again. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But yeah, Jarrett already wanted the title shot for Hogan tonight to kind of get it out of the way, and obviously I think he's devising a plan at this early in the show. So we'll see how that works out for him later.
Yeah, if only they would have just finished it off tonight. What would have happened? Yeah.
We could have gotten that famous Russo promo tonight instead of in a few weeks.
Yeah, which we'll have to watch whenever. So like I said, Terry launches a fucking trash can at Vito, and this starts off the first match. Vito versus Terry Funk for the hardcore title. Terry's beating Vito around backstage. Then Vito punches Terry and throws him into a garage door. Terry starts to open up the garage door. No, Vito starts. Sorry, my autocorrect messed up. So it says Vito opens up the garage door, but Terry throws Vito onto the garage and sandwiches like on the garage floor, and then sandwiches the garage door, and Vito starts beating him. I was like, just fucking pin him then. He can't get his shoulders up. Anyway. And then he starts swinging the belts because Vito was wearing the belt, and Terry starts swinging the belt like a fucking baseball bat and kills him. And then Terry then picks up Vito. A security guard yells at Terry, and Terry just hits him with the belt, which made me laugh. Vito starts running away, but Terry follows him. Terry throws a trash can at him and fucking takes him out. Terry has amazing aim with these fucking trash cans, Logan. Like, we've seen this man just launch these trash cans at people and just fucking take them out. But Terry starts beating Vito with the water bottle, like one of those big water jugs. And then after him, he takes a table bump off of that. It's insane. Terry drags him to the arena, but Vito hits Terry with the trash can. There's a cage for the Nitro girls, which I didn't even know were still around there. And Vito beats Terry through it. Like, he literally throws him into the cage and beats him to it. Like, it's like plastic bars or something. I don't know. But Terry is knocked off and goes through some tables, but it didn't break. I bet you that hurt like a motherfucker because he hit that thing and slid off. Looked really rough. Vito picks up Terry and beats him to the entrance ramp, then knocks Terry down with just one punch. Terry's pretty much punch drunk right now. Vito pulls out a table, but Terry hits him in the nuts. The table is stacked against the ring, and Vito slams Terry into the table. Vito slides Terry in the ring. And sets up the table on the outside. Sorry, I did that out of order. But Terry is stumbling around the ring. Vito hits DDT on Terry on a chair. Then Vito is draped over the ropes because Terry is draped over the ropes after this, and Vito gets on the ring apron and hits a pile driver through the table and pins Funk for the win. Not gonna lie, this is a pretty fun match, Logan. I was shocked by it. We'll talk about that after the match real quick. Terry gets up and has the title. He gives the belt to Vito and shakes his hand. Vito shakes it back and they hold each other's arms up. Then Terry turns around and Vito attacks Terry. So you got to show that as a heel, but it also felt like a passing the guard that maybe Vito's going to be like the big hardcore guy now. If Terry, it felt like a swan song for Terry, to be completely honest. We'll have to see if he pops up anymore. But this was a fun hardcore match, and we've had some fucking crappy hardcore matches.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not insane, obviously. I mean, I am, but not for the reason I'm about to exclaim. But I actually made the note. I said, I don't know if I'm getting soft, but I actually really enjoyed this one a lot. Definitely a lot more than most of the hardcore matches we've seen to this point. But I thought these two put in some pretty good work. It was a fun brawl throughout the backstage arena. Like you said, Funk has some pinpoint accuracy with the damn trash cans. He's got a pretty accurate throw on him. He uses the water cooler tank things at one point, and he just starts bopping Vito over the head with it. I thought that was awesome. I thought that was just so funny. But yeah, they use the weapons very effectively. And I think Vito's just a good worker. I think obviously, I think he kind of declines as we get into maybe the TNA days and maybe some of his WWE stuff. But I think he's kind of underrated in the grand scheme of things. I definitely think he's been pretty solid in this run, tag-wise, and even in this hardcore stuff. So he's a guy that is definitely moved up in my book as somebody that I've enjoyed for sure.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun. So the Mama Lukes has been something we just love. So it's we'll see if we still enjoy them. But yeah, it's insane. And then we go backstage and we see the Cat is looking for Hogan. The Cat says he's the commissioner now at WCW. Logan, I'm the commissioner of Backbone now, since we're just fucking throwing out titles.
Please.
So okay, there we go.
You can make next month's schedule then.
I will. I will eliminate all of Keithy Langston's fucking shitty pods.
God damn.
Yeah, so there you go. That's a shoot, brother. So we get a commercial break and we see Vampiro talking to someone and says it's over. Sting is no more. The Hooded Man says it's not over and there are more souls to be punished and purified. This is just the first chapter. Vamp says it's over and the man tells him, I'll tell you when it's over. So very odd. We'll see if this goes anywhere. I'm 85% sure it doesn't, but we'll see.
It does go somewhere. They reveal it in the fourth season of Lucha Underground. That's the master here and there.
Oh my God! If this is long-term storytelling, Logan, I would love every second of it. This would be amazing.
It's a little ninja person, as we learned in that show.
If they somehow made this part of it, and I didn't realize that when we watched Lucha Underground, I'm gonna be so upset. Oh my God! This is new lore. This is new lore, Logan.
Yeah.
You just dropped new Lucha lore. I love you so much. This is amazing. God, this is amazing. But sorry, if you want to listen to us talk about Lucha Underground, it's here in the archives on Backbone Wrestling Network. We watched all 4 seasons of it. I really wish there was a season 5, but that was sadly not the case.
Well, they teased some news a few months ago, and then nothing ever really happened. So
yeah, Logan,
season 5 may be on the horizon. We never know.
Oh my God! Please don't give me hope. That would just make my life. But anyway, back to 2000 Nitro. Unless Logan wants to drop some more Lucha lore for me, because holy shit, my mind is just fucking boop.
That's all I got right now. So,
God, that show was so good. Well, some parts were, but yeah, it introduced me to Pentagon, who I love. But anyway. So Scott Steiner and the Kid are talking to Nash. Scott says, what do you want me to do? Nash asks Scott to take care of Hunter, which I think the last people who should be watching an 8-year-old child is Scott Steiner, James Grunberg, and myself, in that order. So there we go. Nash says he's 8 years old and don't get him a stripper, which my wife came in and was like, "What the hell are you watching?" And because I was laughing at Nash saying that, I was like, "Well, Scott's 100% going to get him a stripper." And then she heard him say it and she started laughing too. So the franchise music hits. We see how Shane Douglas beat Wall in the best of 9. No, wait, best of 5 table match the night before. Shane has a mic and says franchises do not make excuses. For the last month, things have not gone as franchise has planned. Said he was dealt a hand that sucked. Said last night he made a guarantee to take out the Wall. And he says his partner is ex out of WCW is back. Says we can start kicking ass and taking names and welcomes back Buff Daddy. Buff comes back. He was not missed by Are You Smarter Than Vince Russo's WCW? I literally have a note that just says sigh. He gets in the ring and does his pose. Buff gets on the mic and says, "What's up, Richmond, Virginia?" Buff says he was gone, but he's buff and he's still the stuff. Said he still has some unfinished business with someone named Colonic. Shane says it's chronic. He says, "Well, they're still a pain in the ass," which Logan kind of made me chuckle. So
yeah, not a bad little joke there from Buff.
Yes.
I'll give him that one.
Yes, I realize I'm hating myself more and more. Buff challenges Chronic. Chronic's music hits and they come down. This leads to match 2. Chronic for Shane and Buff, who never got a tag name despite winning the titles at Spring Stampede. All 4 start battling. Buff gets knocked out of the ring and Clark and Douglas start. Adams and Douglas start. Adams kicks Shane and hits a gorilla press slam. Adams kicks Shane again and then beats him in the corner, then throws him around the ring by his neck. We get a tag to Clark and they hit a double shoulder block. Clark picks up Shane and throws him into the corner and beats him with the punches and kicks. Clark chops Shane. Clark then throws him into the ropes and hits the elbow. Clark kicks Shane and then try to pump handle slam, but Buff stops it. This allows Shane to kick Clark, but Clark's dodged it, but Shane was able to get back in control of the side Russian leg sweep. Then Shane hits his running neck breaker, which looks fucking painful. And we get a tag to Buff, who attacks both members of Chronic. Chronic's actually selling for him, and Buff actually hits the blockbuster on Clark, which was shocking. Looks like it was going to end. Shane then blind tags in and tried the Pittsburgh plunge, but Adams breaks it up. Buff runs in, but he eats a full Nelson slam from Adams. And then Chronic hits high times on Shane, and it's over. Chronic leaves the ring. So we'll talk about this match. This was like a speed run for a match. Real nothing here. It was like 2.5 minutes, if that. But what I liked, what I saw, I enjoyed, and it's another clean finish, Logan, which we don't get a lot of those.
Yeah, that's definitely a welcome sight for sure. But yeah, I mean, they let franchise and Buff gets some offense in there, but this is a pretty solid domination from the Chronic guys. I mean, like I said, they sold a little bit, but they mostly handled business and got in and got out fairly quickly, which is probably the best way to use Chronic in the grand scheme of things. Probably not the worst idea to do that with Buff and Shane at this point as well. I don't think they're at their peak, obviously. But yeah, Buff's one of those guys, obviously controversial for many reasons, but he's definitely a character that has some cachet to him. So it's not terrible to see him back, but he's one of those, if he kind of stayed gone as well, I probably wouldn't have been too sad, but I kind of knew he was coming back at some point. So might as well be now, I guess.
I was hoping he would never come back.
Well, yeah, me too. But I knew he was coming back because I know he's involved kind of towards the end. So
yeah, he's in the last pay-per-view, like a piece of shit. So Chronic leaves the ring. Buff gets Shane up, and Shane pushes him. They start pushing each other. We realize that Shane has his brass knuckles that he had the night before, and they argue more, and then they shake hands. And then Buff turns around, but Shane hits him in the back of the head and beats him down. Shane gets on the mic and says, "You son of a bitch," says he got screwed for 30 days, and Shane and Buff just got franchised. So turning Buff face, he's already out of the new blood, Logan. Just like, okay. Motherfucker been around since 1990. I don't really think
I was he might be the longest fucking tenured person in the company that never left.
I mean Sting. So
well, yeah, I forgot about Sting. Yeah, Sting.
Yeah, but he has to be like
other than him, right?
He has to be number 2 at the time because Luger left, Flair left, Steiner's left, even Shivani left. Yeah, he really is.
Yeah, he came in
left.
91?
90.
90? Okay, sorry. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's in Starrcade 9. No, yeah, Starrcade 90 because that's Battle Bowl, which is the best WCW pay-per-view of all time.
Obviously.
I can't tell you how much I love that pay-per-view, Logan.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so yeah, he might be the longest tenured, which is pretty disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you don't count people who left, like obviously, like you said, Luger and Flair and all those guys outrank him. But yeah, for not having left, yeah, he's definitely longest tenured other than Sting. Before we move on to, I meant to mention this earlier, but when they went to Nash the last time, where he kind of tells Steiner to keep up with Hunter and kind of keep him safe and all that kind of stuff. James Storm was one of the cops. So,
oh my God, really?
We get a cowboy appearance here on Nitro. So, yep, young chubby faced cowboy James Storm.
Oh. Yeah, Jesus. So, God, sorry about your damn luck. God. Can never get away from fucking TNA now. Thanks, Logan.
Well, I have to point it out.
So, I know. Kat asks Doug Dillinger where Hogan is. Doug's like, I don't know. And then Kat says, how the hell am I supposed to run a wrestling show if people don't get here at 2? And then Kat asks Doug what he does around here anyway. Kat says Doug needs to lay off the donuts and he's going to take his chair and sit here and wait for Hogan, get a commercial break. I don't care. He makes me laugh, okay?
Yeah, that was. I love how Dillinger was like, I really actually don't do anything around here. I love
it's like, what the fuck
and like.
Well, I remember he was supposed to run security, and Brett in his book talks about how people were like stealing like Brett's like jackets and shit when he would go somewhere.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
he never seemed to be the most active head of security, if I'm being honest.
Wasn't fucking running a tight ship. And then we take commercial break, come back. Mean Gene's with Kidman. Gene said that Kidman gave
Cuckman.
Cuckman. Gene's with Cuckman, and Gene said that Cuckman gave Hogan everything last night. Kidman is like, tonight I'm going to be the special ref for Jeff and Hulk Hogan. I was like, great, this man needs to be emasculated more. A limo pulls up and it's Ric Flair and his whole family. So the cat is right. How the hell is he supposed to run a wrestling company if all these motherfuckers are showing up late, Logan?
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Everybody's got to show up to work on time. What the fuck?
Yeah, right. I show up at work on time. It's ridiculous. They walk past Cat as he's sitting there waiting for Hogan to pull up. We see Russo talking to some broads. He's telling them to get Goldberg whatever he wants. They walk over to Goldberg, and Goldberg asks, "What the hell are they doing here?" And Russo says, "Yeah, get out of here. This is all business." Another thing that made me laugh when Russo is not serious like this. Like, I will say that angle when they were in Rick's house, still an all-timer for me, when he was saying how he's swaying with the sharks in the fucking creek.
Oh, yeah.
Might be the best thing Russo's ever done right there. So we get a commercial break. Cat's still waiting for Hogan. A Dodge Charger shows up, and it's Hogan. Cat says, "You want a title shot?" Hogan says, "Yeah." And he says, "The title shot will be in 10 minutes because Cat's the commissioner." Hogan says he'll be champ tonight instead of a month from now. Cat says one more thing, and Hogan turns around and says, "What?" And then Jeff hits him with a fucking guitar shot. Hogan is down, and we see that Horace is beat down too. Why? I don't know. Fuck Horace.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that? Like, I like the Cat. Like, hey, turn around real quick.
Yeah. I thought that was a pretty coy little way to kind of get him kind of set up for that. But yeah, I definitely thought that was a good way that they kind of handled that one. And I love when Russo brings the girls in and Goldberg is immediately like, "Get this shit out of here."
He's like, "Get out of here. This is all business."
Oh my God.
like
you can already see the wheels of the heel turn kind of falling off. So
yeah, like he's
already like over Russo's shit. So I mean, I know it was kind of in character, but it seemed like he was kind of being a little serious in that one. So, but yeah, seeing Hogan get crushed by a guitar is never bad.
Yeah. Just absurd. So Russo's music hits. Him and David come down. Russo has a mic. We see highlights of last Monday where Russo beat Flair. Russo gets on the mic and says, "It's true. I'm here in person." We get a loud Russo sucks chant. Russo says, "From father to son, David, I am very proud of your performance last night." He is the only one fucking proud of that performance tonight, last night and tonight, because David Flair sucks. And asks everyone to show David Flair respect. They boo him. Russo says he came out for one reason and one reason only, and says he's sick and tired of being everyone's punching bag lately. Scott says to leave the business. Russo says he won't take it. He's from New York, damn it. Says, "Look at these guns. I'm not taking it anymore." And he points to his fucking arms. He says it ends tonight in Richmond, and he's gonna end tonight. He's gonna end Nature Boy Ric Flair tonight. Russo says Flair says he isn't a lamb chop and he won't chop Vince Russo again. Russo says he will have a stroke or a heart attack before he ends it tonight. Russo says he will end this. Says he's going to retire Flair. He's going to retire Flair personally. He says, "Old man, bring your ass out here now." Flair's music hits. Flair says, "This isn't New York, dumb nuts. This is Richmond, Virginia," which gets a pop from the crowd. Rick says he's a free man again, as last night he redeemed himself. Rick says, "You jump on me, you will get hurt next time." Russo says he hates Flair. Flair says, "Last night your wife looked at you and said you aren't Space Mountain." Rick tells David it's over. Let's go home. Rick tells David to come home again. Flair says, "We will put this to an end. If Flair beats Russo tonight, he will retire. But if Flair wins, Flair will become his boss." And it says him and Eric gets along great, which made me laugh. Flair says if Russo loses, he will shave his head like they did Bischoff. Flair says he'll retire or die. Russo says, "Wait a minute." Russo asks if it's a little trim off the back. And then Flair says he's going to retire you, take my son back, take your job, and shave your hair and your ass. I would already be out if he says he's going to start shaving my ass, Logan. I'm out. Like, I don't know why you got to jump to that, Flair. I don't know why you got to jump to that. And then
I kind of wanted him to lose just to see that happen, honestly.
Yeah, just to see what would happen. Just like, all right, let's go. Russo says a New Yorker doesn't back down from anyone, especially these Richmond fairies. Russo says, "You're on, but we do it together, father and son style." Flair says, "Who's going to get Reed?" So it looks like it's going to be another father and son versus father and son match. And then we're told that up next is Hulk Hogan versus Jeff Jarrett. And we got a commercial break. And I'll stop here. Logan, it felt like Flair getting everything and the fuck Russo's wife is the only thing left off. It really showed who was going to win tonight. Like, they stacked so much shit in here. It's like 5 stipulations.
Yeah, there were so many stipulations. I definitely made that note. So yeah, but yeah, like I said before, I kind of wanted to see Russo lose just so we could see his Flair have to commit to shaving his ass. So
right?
That would have been pretty funny, or very interesting to see for sure. Flair has the most old man shirt I think I've ever seen in my entire. It's actually kind of like an old lady shirt.
I don't know. It's from the Sean Kidd collection, I think.
Kind of looks like some, yeah, probably more like Keithy Langston collection. But it definitely, it was like paisley, like a paisley polo. So it definitely screamed like old man or old lady. So it was certainly something to behold for sure. But yeah, this is a very drawn out segment. Russo really just trying to get Flair out of the company, it seems. And he's going to do his damnedest to make sure that happens tonight. But yeah, they kind of say it's going to be a tag match. He says he's going to go get Reed, but it ends up just kind of being a handicap match because Reed never really, I mean, he gets involved, but he doesn't really like tag in and out, or he's not like on the apron or anything like that for the entire match. So I think it's just a straight up handicap for Rick.
Yeah, that's what it turns into. But they obviously they weren't on the same fucking page when they were doing this promo. But I think Flair is hurt right now, so spoiler alert. That's why they write him off, Logan.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like a torn rotator cuff, I think is what he has. Because that's But
it's probably from this slop ass kid fucking not knowing how to work.
Well, we'll talk about that slop ass kid very shortly, but we got to get there. So we see Kevin Nash in a car and Goldberg in the New Blood locker room after commercial break. Cuckman comes down as a special ref. My note here is I'm assuming he's going to get cucked again. Jeff is out next. Jeff has a mic and says, "Listen up, slap ass. You need to ring the bell, count to 10, and call it the match." Then says, "We'll find me a new opponent for the bash." He tells Billy to ring the bell. Billy goes to ring the bell, but the NWO music hits. Oh, Billy. The Hollywood Hulk Hogan music hits. Hogan comes out. We see stills of Billy versus Hulk Hogan. Tony has the balls to say it was a great matchup last night. I don't know what the fuck he was watching. But this leads us to match 3, which is Jeff Jarrett versus Hulk for the world title, and Billy is the ref. As soon as Hogan's in the ring, he starts beating on Jeff and sends him to the ropes and hits a clothesline. Hogan puts Jeff in a headlock and punches him. Hogan beats on Jeff in the corner and then hits a running clothesline on him. Hogan chokes Jeff in the corner and then he throws Jeff out of the ring and starts whipping Jeff with his weightlifting belt and then chokes him with the belt. This is just a squash right now. Kidman breaks up the choke. Hogan beats Jeff with punches and slams him into the steel steps. Hogan whips Jeff again with the belt. Hogan throws Jeff in the ring, but when he slides in, Jeff is able to start beating on him. Jeff and Kidman have words because of the use of an open fist. Jeff gets 3 punches in the corner, and Kidman pulls Jeff off for no fucking reason. This allows Hogan to get back on top and beat on Jeff. Hogan clotheslines Jeff over the top rope. Hogan tries to send Jeff into the guardrail, but Jeff reverses it and sends Hogan into the guardrail. Jeff beats Hogan with a chair, and he goes to hit him again, but Billy grabs the chair from Jeff, and he throws it to Hulk. What the fuck is going on here? Hogan beats Jeff with it, and Cuckman does not have a problem with it. Goldberg and Russo come out. Hogan has Jeff in the ring, and he punches him, and then he hits the big boot. Goldberg starts walking down. Hogan hits the leg drop, and Goldberg stops the count. And then Cuckman is blocking Goldberg from spearing Hogan. So then Goldberg spears Cuckman, and then Goldberg throws Cuckman out of the ring like a bag of shit, and then Goldberg spears Hogan. Russo comes down, and they pulls out a table. They try to slide in the ring, but there's some problems because the leg is popped up, and it keeps hitting the fucking ropes, and they finally realize the problem, and they set the table up. Goldberg jackhammers Hogan through the table, and I put in the note, I'm supposed to boo this guy. And then Jeff paints new blood on Hogan. And then G.I. Bro comes down and the heels bail. Logan. Things that make you say,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This was another Hogan making someone else look foolish because he completely dominates Jarrett here. Not to anyone's surprise. But yeah, obviously Goldberg kind of ends up being the difference or whatever you want to say. Kidman seemingly is Hogan's buddy now. I don't quite understand that one. But I guess he figures if he can't beat him, maybe join him. Maybe him and Horace and Hulk can all be good buddies and 6-man tag team partners going forward since apparently they're friends now. But he helps him throughout this match for no real reason. The New Blood really don't know how to be guest referees. That's what I'm really starting to learn. So, but yeah, that definitely didn't make any sense. Goldberg very sloppily throws Kidman to the outside. That was definitely a little scary. He goes to like, good.
Yeah, no, it was bad.
Yeah, he goes to gorilla press him and he almost loses him, but ends up still hurling him to the outside somehow. It was definitely a scary situation. I did like the jackhammer through the table by Goldberg on Hogan though, so that was definitely a good way to see. But yeah, we get the little hint that GI Bro gets kind of thrown in here, so we'll see if that goes anywhere.
Yeah, things that make you say But yeah, it was something. Okay, and then speaking of something. Get a commercial break. We see a replay of what just happened. DDP music hits. He limps out and he's wearing a shirt that says whatever. He has the Sasha Banks boo-boo face on. Mercedes, Monet, whatever you want to call it. He has that boo-boo face. And for some reason, he's holding a fucking lemon. DDP says one of the boys in the back asks why you got a lemon with you, and he says when I get done with my interview, I'm gonna have a beer, and I like to have a lemon in my beer. So today I learned. There you go, guys.
That's fucking weird. Still,
this whole interview is fucking weird. Like this promo segment is weird. And then he says, "Let's do this." My whole life, people have been telling me I can't do this and I can't do that. He said people told me I couldn't become a wrestler at 35. I couldn't be a main eventer. And I couldn't be a world champ. And then he points at his shirt and says, whatever. And says when he broke in, one guy he considered a friend, and he half-hearted believed he would become a wrestler, and he says it was Eric Bischoff. New Blood music hits, and out comes Eric Bischoff, and DDP calls him an asshole and says, I didn't do this alone. He talks about Kim. And we see that Kimberly is out, and Canyon came out with Eric as well, because they finally show who came out with Eric. Be honest here, DDP is really fucking rambling, Logan. He talks about how Kimberly used to be a real woman, and now she's a bitch, I guess. Then he says how Canyon, he took him under his wing, says he taught him things that Jake, Dusty, and Jody Anderson taught him, and stuff about how he turned negatives into positives. See, even Logan's dog thinks this promo is bullshit. But he says after last night, he doesn't feel like getting back up again with all the negatives. DDP says, Tanay asked me if I was the problem. He says, maybe I was the problem. He says, bottom line, the business has cost me my health, my wife, and all my friends. And says, screw it, it ain't worth it, and leaves to the crowd. I guess he quit. Eric is trying to yell at him, but his mic doesn't work. And we see DDP just leave through the crowd. We get a commercial break, and Tony talks about DDP walking out and saying that was enough. And then Tony stares at Scott's moves as he's talking. But this DDP thing was weird, Logan. It's just bad. Just bad. Like, it's trying to be a shoot, but it's, like, so obvious that it's a fucking angle. And, like, DDP with his boo-boo face. It's like, just leave, dude. Like, I like you, but just fucking leave.
Yeah, he's been pretty lame lately. This is probably, like, not the worst thing for him to kind of fade out for a little bit, even though it seems like they've pretty much set up that him and Canyon are going to feud. So kind of seems weird that he's disappearing, seemingly. But yeah, rambled on a little too long. And, you know, Kim's still around. So we've obviously been pretty out on her for a while. So
she's great until she talks.
Yeah, that's definitely true. But he pretty much seemingly retires here. Or, you know, at least quits. So we'll see what DDP has in the chamber again. Obviously, being hindsight, I know that he doesn't completely disappear here for good, but I do know. I mean, I kind of knew that he does kind of fade for a little bit at least.
Yeah. Adios, amigo, I guess. I don't know. We'll see when he comes back.
But yeah, a break could be good for him as well.
Yeah, like, okay. Yeah, so real bad. So Tony gives an update on Sting and says he's in the burn unit and will not be back for a while. So Sting's gone. Millionaires Club's just fucking depleted, Logan. Luger's gone. DDP just quit. Sting's gone. Spoiler alert. Flair's going to be gone by the end of the night. And it's just Hogan and Nash, apparently, in the Millionaires
Club. Hogan won't be gone before too long either. So,
yeah, like, what are we doing? So, So Vampiro is out. He says, you didn't think it was going to happen, did you? And said he ruined Sting's life and says he doesn't have any remorse. Says for the rest of Sting's life, when his friends see him, he'll see his scars. And when Sting looks in the mirror, he'll see his scars. He says, you'll remember me. That's pretty good heel heat right there. He says, Richmond, this is the start. The nightmare is just beginning. Says he knows he's going to hell and he's cool with it. He wonders who has the balls to go with him. Some music hits and the fucking Kiss Demon returns, Logan. I don't think we've seen like the Kiss Demon on Thunder when we first started this show. Like, we haven't seen him since.
Yeah, I think he had a in-ring classic with the Maestro.
Yeah, bring the Maestro back. I love that guy. The Demon comes out and I said he's carrying a torch like he's on a march to Charlottesville. So this leads us to match 4, which is Vampiro versus the Demon. Quite the fall for Vampiro, feuding with Sting to the fucking Demon, apparently. Vampiro attacks Demon in the aisle and throws him in the ring, and then he chops punches him. Vampiro beats on Demon and sends him to the ropes, but Demon reverses it and hits a clothesline and then a drop kick. Then he knocks Vamp out of the ring. They battle around the ring. Vamp gets to control and beats Demon against the Turner Vision, Nitro Vision, whatever they want to call it this week. The ref tries to break it up, but Vampiro yells at him. Vampiro is able to send off fire like he's the fucking Undertaker, and thankfully the Demon is not standing on one of the grates, or he would have to send his ass to the burn unit. But Vamp starts climbing. Nitro Vision is in the middle of it. And then he hits a horrible crossbody block that is so bad that Tony's like, he hit an axe handle. Despite it not, he fucking hits his knee on the grate. Both men are down. The bell rings as both men are like, what the fuck? And then we just go backstage till we see the Freaks and Steiner saying one of the girls to watch Hunter, which...
Shakira.
He said no strippers, Scott. He said no strippers. But, yeah, this match was horrible, Logan. Like, god-awful.
Didn't need to happen. Double count out. Not much happened before the double count out or double disqualification, whatever it kind of ended up being.
Yeah.
But, yeah, nobody asked for the Demon to come back. And there wasn't much fanfare for him either. So, we'll see if he continues to hang around. I'm fairly positive he does for at least a little bit, but yeah, definitely not a return I was super excited for. But yeah, the lucky bastard that is Hunter Nash or Hunter, whatever his last name is, getting to hang out with one of the Freaks. That's definitely not a bad place for a 8-year-old to be.
Right? Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Considering she like puts her arms around him and shit, he probably
hugs up on his ass. So
yeah. So all right. So we get a commercial break, and this is when the show gets real rough right here, folks. So fucking buckle in. David and Vince are talking. Vince is spiraling and saying, "What are we gonna do, David?" Then DDP's music hits, but it's the New Blood on like the Tron. And out comes Canyon and Kimberly. Canyon is now called Positively Canyon. Kimberly says her soon-to-be ex-husband just quit WCW, and she says she's broken up about it. And 5 seconds later,
why is this divorce taking so long?
I don't know. She then says she's over it now because her sponsor, Eric Bischoff, and he created her own product, and she says it's Positively Me, cologne for ladies. Wouldn't that be fucking perfume, Logan?
Yeah, that would probably be correct. But she's a moron and shouldn't have a mic.
Yeah.
But they continue to give her one, so hopefully that doesn't last too much longer.
I don't think it does.
Yeah, I think she's gone with it. I think she's gone within the month. So yeah. Yeah,
because she they mentioned on Extreme 3-Way Dance how when Joey was going over the 900 numbers, like Kimberly's left WCW, so it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, I think I read on her Wikipedia page that she didn't last the rest of June. So once June's over, she's definitely gone.
I will say she does have a good line here where she says you can buy the cologne, spray it on their ladies, and think of me. I was like, oh, that's pretty funny. Pretty good heel stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then she says you people are pathetic, and because they don't really boo her, they're just like, it's like fucking X-Pac heat or Rob Conway heat, whichever one you want to go with her. And then says Canyon can deal with it. And then Canyon says when he was in the hospital dealing with my spinal cord injury, and he winked at the camera, he says, "You people believed it. Don't you feel dumb now?" He says, "When I was in the hospital," which he's just said, like, I guess when he was faking it, he said Eric said to get DDP's spot was I had to turn on DDP like I did last night. Canyon says he wants more than a spot, but his life. Says he's going to come out with music, and his wife. He plugs his book, which is called Positively Canyon, and says he will be signing it at in New Jersey this week, which is funny. And he says he's taking back the diamond cutter, and that's the move he came up with. And he makes a challenge. Scott Steiner's music hits, and Scott gets on the mic and says, "Canyon, you come out here with DDP's wife, and you act like that's a big deal. Tell me who hasn't been with that bitch." Goddamn, pal.
There you go, Scotty.
God damn, pal. That even I laughed. I was like, "That's a little fucking stiff. That's a little stiff."
That's a little hard.
Yeah, a little ribbon on the square, as they say. And he says, "You want to diamond cut someone? Go get your ass in here, boy." And Canyon has his ribs taped like he's DDP, which I thought was a nice touch, Logan. So this leads us to match 5. We're fucking speed running these matches after having 2 the first hour and 20 minutes. But I digress. Canyon gets in the ring and Scott starts beating his ass, and he hits a clothesline and then an elbow drop. Scott hits a suplex on him and then throws him into the corner. And then Canyon tried to jump over him, but Scott catches him, and he's about to hit Snake Eyes, but Canyon wiggles out and pushes him into the turnbuckle. He hits an atomic drop on Scott, and then he kicks him. Canyon hits this awesome Alabama slam, which he drops down with it, and it just got 2. Canyon argues with the ref and then hits the diamond cutter on him. Scott punches Canyon and then hits an atomic drop. Kimberly runs away, and they're like, "What the hell is she going?" But Scott hits a gorilla press slam. Scott hits his beautiful belly to belly that we love, and he goes to put Canyon into Steiner recliner, but Mike Awesome comes down and attacks Scott. And then Chronic, for some reason, comes down for the save, and they beat down Awesome and Canyon. And then Kimberly's trying to leave, but Miss Hancock pops up in the crowd and confronts her. Miss Kimberly gets in the ring, and Miss Hancock is about to attack her, but she's like, "Take off your glasses to fight me." So when she finally does, she reaches down to grab her, but Kimberly is supposed to spray her with the female cologne, but this bitch can't even get that right, and you see it go straight up in the air like 3 times. She might even spray herself at one point.
That would be hilarious if she bumped herself somehow.
Yeah, and then Miss Hancock has to sell this where you can clearly see the spray not going, and then Kimberly beats her up. I just think Kim is horrible. Logan, this was nothing here besides Scott Steiner saying that everyone's been with Kim. Just nothing. Not a good start for Positively Canyon, if I may say so myself.
Yeah. I didn't think the action in the match, when it was still a match, wasn't that bad. I think it had the workings of probably what could have been a good match, but obviously they bail on it pretty quick. I don't think Canyon's going to beat your United States champion in his first match of his new character or anything like that, but maybe have him look a little bit more dominant than he was, just to kind of establish him as maybe a possible contender for the U.S. title that Steiner has that we've maybe all forgotten about because he never defends it.
That's a good thing.
It's
a good thing that Russo forgot about it.
Yeah, for sure. But Awesome obviously comes out and helps Canyon after Canyon, for some reason, diamond cuts the ref. Pretty sure it was Little Nate, so he took a good bump as per usual. But yeah, they're for some ungodly stupid reason continuing this Miss Hancock Kimberly Page feud that no one wants no one asked for. So hopefully, like we said, I think Kim's out pretty quickly, but I mean, I guess maybe hopefully this gets a payoff of some sort and Hancock gets her revenge on her or whatever, but just a feud in a character in Kimberly that I just don't want to see anymore.
Yeah, please don't. I mean, I want to see more of Miss Hancock, but
yeah. We'll see more of her for sure.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
So we see Rick and Reed walking backstage. Then we smash cut to David and Vince walking backstage. Get a commercial break. Scott's with Pamela. Pamela asks, what happened? Scott says, "Listen, you're beautiful, but not now." Did they think they were going to have sex? Is that what he thought, Logan?
Maybe not. Maybe.
He says, "You're beautiful, but not now." This man's hilarious. Just give him all the fucking titles. Just amazing.
Give him the mic permanently and give him all of the belts. Yes, please.
Yeah, I want him to do my autobiography. Look at this fat bitch here. Just talking about me. But he takes the mic and says, "Russo and Bischoff, you sons of bitches. I know you sent Mike Awesome down. He's just going to find them and put his foot up both their asses." And then he's like, "Oh, shit, I lost Hunter." This man, actually, I think Shakira lost Hunter because she was on fucking Hunter Watch. That's not on you,
She was
Scotty.
like, "I looked up and he wasn't there anymore."
Yeah, it's like, that's not on you, Scotty. It's like, you could do no wrong.
Just dumb, stupid shit.
Listen, you're beautiful, but not now.
Oh God.
Sorry.
What a beautiful bastard Scott Steiner is.
I love how it's turned into I got to get his promos fucking verbatim because they're just amazing. You think
might
it's
get
cool?
You in trouble at some point.
He said, "You think it's cool? Everyone's been with that bitch," and then 10 minutes later, "You're beautiful, but not now."
Jesus Christ!
And these are ones that like people don't know about. Like people know about like the number one. And it says how he gets freaks 8 days a week.
Comedy gold.
Just amazing. Yeah. So New Blood music hits. Somehow we have 15 minutes left and we got 2 fucking matches. And so New Blood music hits. Vince looking scared and David comes down. Vince is in a sweatsuit. This is important for later. Rick and Reed come down next. Match 6. Rick and Reed versus David and Vince. Tony keeps calling a handicap match, and that's basically what it turns into because Reed is just ringside. He's not on the ring apron. Rick and David start off. Rick kicks David and starts chopping him. He sends him into the turnbuckle, but David fucks up his Flair flop so bad that he lands on the back of his fucking head, on his back of his neck. Like, he's just horrible. He's just a bad wrestler. Like, just stop, bro. Like, and then like he fucks it up so bad that Russo like comes in. He probably thinks David's hurt and he's like, I gotta save some time. Russo comes in, but like Rick like scares him off and he picks up David and hits him in the dick, and David slides out of the ring. Russo starts begging off immediately, but Rick stalks him into the corner. Rick chops Vince, but Vince no-sells it. Rick unzips the jacket, and you see that Vince had a catcher's chest protector on. Rick pulls it off and starts chopping the ever-loving shit out of him. David tries to attack Rick, but Rick kicks him and then hits a body drop on him. He then picks David up and chops him and then hits a suplex. Rick puts a figure four on David, and then Russo attacks Rick with a baseball bat, starts just beating him with the baseball bat like he's Mark McGuire around this time. Reed comes in and attacks Vince, but David pulls Reed off as Russo just keeps beating Rick with the bat. And then he gets on the mic and says, Beth, bring your cute little ass in here, as David's holding on to Reed. Beth gets in the ring, and Russo says, this is your last chance to get on my bandwagon. R&B security then gets in the ring. Russo wants Beth to hit Rick with the Statue of Liberty, and she takes her sweet time deciding what to do. Russo says too late, and he brains Rick with the Statue of Liberty and then chokes him with it. And then Ashley tries to rush the ring, but R&B security hold her back. You can see they're doing their best not to touch her in any spot she's not supposed to because she's 14 years old at the time, as Tony says. So they're holding her at her shoulders like it's a fucking 5th grade dance. Then Megan throws the towels in. Flair is dead because David had him in the figure four and Vince just kept beating him. They say Ric Flair's career is over. We get a loud bullshit chant. Then they shave Ric Flair's hair, and they shave him like he's almost bald. I'm kind of shocked he was able to grow his hair back, Logan. That's always like if I shave my head that short, the shit's not going to grow back. They shaved some of Reed hair.
He looks ridiculous.
Hair, and that was fucked up. They didn't have to do that, poor boy. They shaved like the middle sides of that, so like it was all fucked up.
Yeah, his hair fucking fucked up afterwards. Yeah, for sure.
This kid's 12 years old. You don't need to fucking do that shit.
Well, they do a lot of things to that poor kid that they shouldn't do in this storyline.
Yeah, like I was like, what are we doing? But
I'm kind of surprised
they
don't. I'm kind of surprised they don't do something to Nash's nephew like later on tonight because they've done so much to poor Reed.
Yeah, like I was like, God damn, like why are we trying to traumatize kids tonight? But no, it was it's just bullshit that this was like speed ran because he could have had more time. But like I said, I think he's hurt. So yeah. So there you go. But what did you think of this match?
Yeah, it was chaos, and maybe not the good kind of chaos or anything like that. Flair obviously dominates the two basically non-wrestlers for most of the match. Russo brings out the equalizer that is the bat and kind of turns the tide and just beats him over and over and over and over and over again after that, pretty much. And that's kind of the rest of the match. And R&B security kind of surround the proceedings just so I mean, I don't know that anybody's coming to Flair's
no
rescue or anything like that, but there were plenty of people to kind of protect Russo and David, if that was even going to be a thing that was going to happen anyway. So, but Megan throws in the towel. Such a ridiculous name. She should just be Megan. It's obnoxious that they call her Megan.
Yeah, it's absurd.
But yeah, Rick gets a pretty good shave going on, and then like I said, poor Reed gets like the one huge gash out of his hair, so he ends up looking absolutely absurd when he walks away.
Yeah, real bad, guys. Real bad. So we see Nash getting his handcuffs taken off. We get a commercial break. We see what just happened. 5 minutes left in the show, guys. Nash's music hits. He comes out. He looks pissed. Goldberg's music hits. He comes out with all the new blood. So we got match 7. Nash versus Goldberg. Goldberg gets in the ring and Nash attacks him. They trade punches. Nash kills Goldberg with a big boot. So much so that Goldberg rolls out of the ring, which I'm sure was planned, but like, goddamn. And then Goldberg gets back in the ring and he hits Nash with what I call the Brett kick because it scrambled Brett's brains. And that takes out Nash. Goldberg stomps on him. Then he picks up Nash and chokes him in the corner. He yells at the ref, and the ref's scared and leaves the ring. But he slides back in. Goldberg punches Nash. Nash is on the ground. And Goldberg goes to pick him up, but Nash is playing possum and actually throws him into the turnbuckle. And then the new blood starts rushing the ring, and Nash fights him off. But then Goldberg hits Nash with a horrible chair shot, which is so bad that you can tell that it misses by like 3 feet, Logan. Horrible chair shot. And then Goldberg pulls off his gloves and starts just beating on Nash's head. Then Hunter fucking shows up out of nowhere, like he just fucking apparated there and is watching this.
Yep.
Russo comes down and grabs Hunter and makes him watch. It's like, let the boy watch. Goldberg picks up Nash, and Nash looks like he's just like barely asleep, but he's supposed to be knocked out. Steiner comes down, starts beating the fuck out of everyone. Wrestlers, cops,
he wrecks those cops.
Oh my god, he's just beating the ever loving shit out of these people.
There's one that he throws a forearm to that he throws his entire weight and just bombs the guy.
Yeah.
It's unsightly.
He said, "You're beautiful, but not now." But then the cops overwhelm Scott, and they're fucking beating him with nightsticks. Scott gets cuffed, and then while Scott's getting cuffed and led away, the cat kicks him in the back of the head, which I thought was pretty funny. It definitely feels like the rise of the new blood, which they should have been doing in, I don't know, fucking April and May.
They should have done this maybe like right June. After the reboot, and not after like the whole thing should probably be over.
Yeah. And then the show ends with Hunter checking on Nash as Goldberg and Russo celebrate. If Goldberg would have fucking speared Hunter, WCW would never went out of business.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I said, with all the violence that they've done to Reed, I was shocked that they didn't Russo didn't at least kick him to the side or some shit like that. That would have made total sense. But yeah, the highlight of this is Steiner absolutely destroying those cops. But Goldberg beats Nash down pretty good throughout this. And I won't say that Goldberg's necessarily better as a heel or anything like that. Obviously, it's the first time we kind of see him in action. But he definitely has the mannerisms and kind of the working style down. Like you said, he kind of rolls out when he realizes he got a pretty good shot laid in on him. So he kind of rolls to the outside in kind of a cowardly way and takes a breather. He definitely has gotten to the point where he has the crowd obviously kind of booing him. They even do a Goldberg sucks chant. So I think he's definitely got the heel thing down. I think it's not a character or a side he typically prefers to do. But I definitely think he's not bad at it. I'll say that for sure.
Yeah. So pleasantly shocked with that, Logan. But this was a weird episode. Like, I don't know if I want to watch Thunder, but I will because I'm doing the podcast. But if I was a fan at home, it's like, what is there to watch? Jesus, I have no hope.
Millionaire Club's done other than Hogan, pretty much. I mean, and Nash even gets beat down pretty hardcorely in this one, so there's no telling whether he's maybe out for foreseeable future or anything like that.
Yeah. So So let's before we get out of here tonight, let's go over everything. So no titles changed hands, guys. So that means Jeff Jarrett's still our world champ. U.S. champ still Scott Steiner, even though it's basically like there. Tag
It's just a
champs,
prop that he wears around his waist at this point,
pretty much. Sean Stasiak, and Chuck Palumbo. Cruiserweight champ, Lieutenant Loco. Hardcore champ are still the Mama Lukes. Most absurd was Ric Flair getting his head shaved to Russo.
Yeah, probably that. Maybe leaving the 8-year-old child in the company of a probably stripper. That may not have been the best.
I did say what was. I said what was. I said most absurd, not what was good, Logan.
Oh, sorry. Maybe a little bit of both. That could be part of one or the other.
Yes.
But nah, I'd probably go with the fact that like Goldberg and Nash is a major match, and they started with like 3 minutes left in the show.
Yeah, Vince can't book TV to save his life.
Mm-hmm.
We'll block it out.
Well, he just packs so much in, and then he's like, "Oh shit, we have a main event still to do."
Yep. For what was good, I said the New Blood Rises.
Yeah, I mean, as much as it's probably a little too late, they do finally like really seem to achieve and do well and kind of rise in the show for sure. But now they kind of don't have anybody to fight because all the Millionaires Club guys are either retired or quit or hurt or all that kind of stuff. So,
G.I. Bro.
G.I. Bro and Hogan are about all that's left. So we'll see who these guys. I mean, I guess maybe like Kidman's Millionaires Club now because he kind of joined Hogan in that. I don't know. We'll see where it goes.
I don't know. But yeah. So what was bad? Lack of baby faces.
Yeah, I mean, as much as the New Blood finally probably getting over the fact that they have probably really kind of only 2 guys to fight when they're like a whole group of people, probably not a good thing.
Also, Vamp have to yuck it up with the fucking demon. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Millionaires Club member, the demon.
Yeah. So we had 7 matches tonight, guys. It started off hot. 2 clean finishes back to back. I was blown away. Then we had 5 non-clean finishes or non-finishes. 0 pole matches. We're stuck at 5. I think that will pop up after a fucking Bash at the Beach, if you catch my drift. We had 3 gimmick matches tonight. We're now at 172 gimmick matches. We're at 1 guitar shot. We're at 47 total. 39 different things tonight. We're still stuck at 60 title changes. So the episodes are finally catching up to the title changes, everyone. For Are You Smarter Than Vince Russo's WCW, I'm going to say yes, Logan, but it wasn't as bad as we're used to. So it's not a complete loss.
Yeah, it's definitely one of his better nights, but he still had some fault and stuff in there. So
yeah,
I'll give him some benefit, but we definitely could probably get a better show and a little bit tighten up a few things, maybe a little bit, so you don't have a 3-minute main event that has 2 of your biggest stars in the company's history. So yeah, I definitely think we're smarter this time.
Correct, Logan. So that brings an end to another episode of Are You Smarter Than Vince Russo's WCW? We will see you in 2 weeks for the 614 Thunder. I have no clue what happens on any of these shows, so it's going to be brand new for all of us. I will say Russo quits Nitro for 1 episode. Next week, Logan, the 619 Nitro, he quits.
Uh-huh.
We will still cover it, but
Lovely.
and it will still count because like he literally comes back. So that's where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll see you in 2 weeks for that. Stay positive, everyone.
Brr.